Well, today, the first proper day of the election campaign, the opposition leader, Anthony Albanese, was caught short on two very basic economic questions. The call into question his attention to detail about the economy. Have a listen.
Mr Albanese, just on the economy, we know that that's going to be a key focus for Australians when, we're coming out of this pandemic. Can I ask you mentioned the Reserve Bank earlier. Do you know the official cash rate off the top of your head?
Oh, look, we can do the old Q&A stuff over 50 different over 50 different figures. The truth is that what they have said, the Reserve Bank, is that over the coming period, the Reserve Bank have said that there'll be multiple interest rate increases, regardless of who's in government. Regardless of who's in government.
Okay.
We can do the 20 question stuff through all of it if you want. Andrew.
What's the national unemployment rate?
National unemployment rate at the moment is, I think it's 5.4. Sorry, I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
Now, let's be honest here. Anybody can forget a number, a detail, a name. We've all done it. We'll literally do it every day. So how basic are these things, though? The cash rate, the unemployment rate that Anthony Albanese seemed almost, clueless about. Rowan Coons is an educator and tutor who does online tutorials for HSC economic students through his business, The Art of Smart Education. So, Rowan, welcome to the program. I want to just take you through this. It's pretty basic stuff. Would you expect an HSC economic student to be able to literally spit back to you the cash rate and the unemployment rate in Australia?
100%. That is just fundamental for the Year 12 economics course.
Okay, so then beyond that, though, we haven't even gone further with this because there's a whole bunch of other stuff, economic growth, the amount of debt that the country's got. These are types of things an HSC student... My thing also here is I'm wondering whether I really expect a future leader of the country to have the knowledge of the economy of an HSC economic student. I kind of hope so, I think, in my head.
Yeah, I think you'd want to expect to hope that, particularly given that it does seem like the economy is a very important issue going into this election. And, look, I think something like the cash rate, something like the unemployment rate are pretty core fundamental issues that impact everyone's lives, whether or not it's the availability of employment, but also, the cost of mortgages.
Well, you live with this and I live with this, and it is, again, fundamental to people's lives. You should have a working knowledge of economics, and even a cheat sheet would help. So we've created a bit of a Polly's Ready Reckoner. So I think that these are the absolute basics you should know. You should know that economic growth, 3.4%, yeah?
Yep.
Unemployment, 4%. He stumbled on that one, said 5.4. And inflation's another pretty basic one, right?
That's right.
Okay, if we flick it on and we go and have a quick look, we'll start to get into a few other bits and pieces here. I think a person should know the population of Australia, any person in the country.
I think that's a good number to have a good, strong idea of.
Well, you've got to. If you're going to have things that are per capita, you've got to know what the per capita is, right? So population 25.75 million comes from the Bureau of Statistics. Federal government debt. Now, a lot of people right now say it's $1 trillion or so. It's not. The gross debt right now is $872 billion, and you can find that from the Australian Office of Financial Management.
Yeah.
So these are things, again, your economic students would be doing this, wouldn't they?
100%. I mean, one of the big things you look at is external stability, the ability for the Australian economy to withstand external shocks, and getting a good position of what our debt is and how it's grown over time and its sustainability is a core part of the course.
Okay, so what about interest rates? Would you expect them to know these basic interest rates as they're going into their HSC exams?
So you'd certainly need to know the cash rate, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Fundamental.
0.1%, right? You'd have to be able to spit that out straight away because that'd be likely to be an exam question, I'd have thought.
Definitely, whether or not it's in a multiple choice or an essay where you're needing to evaluate RBA policy and its effectiveness, you're going to need to know that as a core.
A mortgage rate, about 2%, but look, it can be more, it can be less, but 2% is roughly it.
Yep.
What about the 10-year government bond yield right now?
So look, that's probably where we're starting to get to a level of detail that you probably wouldn't expect a HSC economics student to know.
Yeah, all right. So then I went to some of the harder ones that I thought might have been worthwhile sitting there. The wage price index, this is about wages, this whole election campaign. That's the key number, surely.
Definitely, and I think it's become, incredibly important for a HSC economics student to understand as well, because of the fact that we've had pretty tepid inflation for the last decade, and the result has been arguably due to low wage growth. It's certainly a big election issue this year, and it's one that, Year 12 students know.
Okay, budget receipts, you want to know what's coming through the door, and you can see the difference there is actually tacking onto the debt. That's the deficit, effectively. The current account, 2.7%. This is more sophisticated stuff. The household savings ratio, though, if you're the Prime Minister, you'd need to know what that is, surely.
I think definitely, yeah.
It's interesting. Rowan Kearns, I'll tell you what, great to have you in the program. Thank you very much for the insight. And the question here is to whether a Prime Minister should have the basic economic knowledge of an HSC economics student. Thank you so much for your time.